Most people use EQ the wrong way. You don't need more plugins, you need control. Before, after. Watch till the end of the video to get some bonus tips. Hi, I'm Florina Jain, otherwise known as Flow of Music, and I help you mix and master your tracks better. Today we're going to learn about dynamic EQ, which is a very fantastic EQ that only reacts when there is a problem. Let's first understand what a dynamic EQ is. So when you make an EQ change using the regular equalizer, normally it just makes the cut that you do. You make like a cut because there's a noise and it just does that, that's all. But with a dynamic EQ, when there is a frequency build-up, only then it's going to cut. In other instances, it's going to stay at the same level. So let's look at some practical examples. We have a guitar track, and then I'm going to check these mids. So not a lot of clarity through that, right? But then look at the waveform where it just goes up like that. You will notice that the waveform doesn't constantly be there. It'll just come up then and there. That first waveform that just jumps up when there's more volume. So this isn't sounding that great, right? No clarity in this part. So I'm going to cut it. So we are using Pro Q3 to do this process. So I'm going to click this and bring this down. Let's listen to it now. Now, yeah, that's fine. But then I don't want it to always cut. So this is what you do. Just right click and select make dynamic, and we can adjust where it has to be when there is no volume level or when there is no frequency coming through it. So maybe you don't want it to go down at all. You keep it like here. And when there is a signal coming, it's going to go down. Watch how it reacts. Do you see that the bell curve cut is happening when there is a frequency? Normally, it just makes that cut throughout the track. But then what if there is a signal that you really like? That's not what we need, right? So this is the actual working of a dynamic EQ. Now let's move a little further into EQ and understand what else you can control and therefore make your mix sound better. We are going to control different sides of making an EQ change, like changing the EQ on the left side, right side, or both the sides alone, or only the center, or all around you. Now that's very easy by using Pro Q3. Now when I make a change over here, and usually I like to push the highs on a guitar to get more presence, but I don't want that to be throughout the all around me. I don't want that to be on the mid and on the sides. So let's first make the change. That sounds good, right? But I don't want that all the time to happen. So now just right click on that point, go to stereo placement, and here you can decide where this EQ change has to appear. Left, right, stereo means everywhere. Mid is only the center. This is side, which is on both left and right. And now I'm going to choose side. Now if I solo this, actually it's only on the sides and not on the center. I want to push something else but in the mid frequency. So let's push this area, but right click, go to stereo placement and choose mid. Now this change is only in the mid. So to do a comparison, this is without the EQ. So you get more presence on the left and right, whereas you get more body of the guitar and more clarity on the notes in the center. Now, this is where you have an ultimate control on the EQ, and that is combining both the dynamic aspect of Pro Q3 and making your changes on the mid side or left, right, and all that, combining them both together. Now, we already did a change over here, which is dynamic, Whereas the mid and sides that we did, they are all stagnant, right? But let's combine them. So I'm going to make the side also dynamic. So right click and make dynamic. Now you're going to see that it only goes up when there's more signal coming in, right? So I'm going to just adjust the value a little bit, and then let's try a little bit of combination on the mid too. Now let's see how it sounds. This is what the track sounded like earlier. And I have another copy also, so that's the cool thing in Pro Q3. You can make different versions and see what you like. Now it's selected A over here. When you click on it, it changes to B. This is a change that I did earlier, but then I did not make them dynamic, okay? So we'll have a comparison. This is the version 1 that we did right now. My favorite is version A, but what is your favorite? Comment that below and let me understand what you like and what is your favorite EQ change. So I like A because I have more presence in this and it sounds more like ambient and present, whereas B gives me more punch. So maybe based on the song, I will choose a different one. Now let's talk about bonus tips. But before that, if you haven't subscribed to my channel, do subscribe to it now. I'm sure you'll learn something new through this video, right? Tip number 1, always use reference tracks to identify the width of the song, and you can implement that in your track based on these sides and mids. So listen to the reference track, listen how each background instruments are spread, like the synthesizers, guitars, pianos, all that. Listen to the spread of it and see if your song has that. If it doesn't have it, then it's probably because of a very regular EQ change that you've done. Number 2, keep the balance intact. Just because you have the ability to make an EQ change on the sides doesn't make you only make those changes in the sides. Then it's going to sound like very thin and empty, and it's going to sound like a very weird song that doesn't have any energy in the center but has a lot of things going on in the left and right. No, you need to have the right balance. You don't need to always make all your EQs dynamic also. So some needs to be static. So maybe when I did it here, I might not do the dynamic part on the mids. I'll probably keep it without dynamics because this is a very important part that I constantly want to increase in volume throughout. But maybe the sides are nice to have the dynamic difference. So have a balance. Don't always have it dynamic and don't always keep it in side mode or in mid mode. And number 3 is again following up on number 2 tip, combining the static EQ and the dynamic EQ. That combination is going to serve you well. Similar like how I said in tip number 2, the combination of mid, side and stereo works well. Combination of static EQ and dynamic EQ will work well. So that's the end of this video. I hope you learned something new. Don't forget to comment, share this with your music producer friends. This is Florina Jain and I'll see you guys in another video.